You hate to see it.
Oh, no, no. Oh, no. Well, have to move forwards, and forwards they will move towards the B-bomb site. Now the double Mac-10 will allow them to create space very quickly as they progress forwards, and they have a great selection of utility to try and also punish any players playing those close positions. They should be fine despite losing Nifty for free. He's on the tree though, might try to make things complicated, but you can see the use of utility. The flashbang pushes him back, but still, looks like JDM has a few free shots, but that should have been a kill. It will not be, and now there's problems here. More frags made as Nitro gets into the mix with that scout, and all of a sudden it's just Nav. Oh no, it's gone so desperately wrong, and a quick quick camera angle there as we see Nifty's dead body shot by his teammates.
Interestingly, when that push came in, here's a replay, just jumping straight in and then ragdolling like a discus. As soon as the grenades were deployed, Liquid had most of their players already towards B, and Zeus was just by the underpass doors. As soon as the grenades were deployed, before they even landed, he started flanking immediately, shoulder peeking, finding out what was going on. Didn't manage to get a kill towards the plateau, but did manage to run distraction while his teammates got into better positions, and so on and so forth. So again, we'll see what roles Zeus has to play in the rounds to come, but now it's the anti-eco round. Doesn't seem to be a full force fight from the T side, which is unusual in situations such as this. Zeus has gone down, got some info for his team, and the T's haven't really collected anything out of this.
Not too much. I think a couple kills is a good result, but they'll get only one. Zeus, we know that everyone was saying how much he was sort of sacrificing himself for the team on the desk, just buying CSS, being the back of the team. Well, getting a couple SMG kills will certainly help towards that with the bonus money that you get, well, the extra bonus money that you get compared to normal guns on that Mac-10, the $600. Now, Liquid 2-1. Renegades still in a position where they can't offer a full buy, and will still be playing for damage here, because you don't want to let the CT economy get out of control. We could see a massive half from Liquid. If that's the case, and JDM is playing well with the AWP, this could be quite messy, especially if Nitro is allowed to pick up a second AWP. I don't want that reality for Renegades. Time will tell.
Seems Renegades will look to deploy the flashbang and make their way into the drop. I saw the one flash onto Nifty, and I was thinking, surely not the plateau, because the range, they would just get absolutely abused. It wasn't. They'll get a close range in the drop, but they won't get any kills, it doesn't seem. Only the flash deployer, Nifty, remains, and he'll get cut to pieces, to ribbons, perhaps, by Elige. Elige looks like a man who makes ribbons, perhaps. 3-1 to Team Liquid.
Yeah, this is now where stuff starts to get a little bit real, because we'll see Renegades actually running some rounds now. They have the AWP onto Nifty. They have a great selection of utility to work with as well to try to create space around the map. And it's going to be down to Team Liquid to just try to hold here. And what if they win the round? It'd be really sick, because they'll be able to pick up the AWP for free. And that's always a very nice thing if you're on the CT side. And I'll have to see if that's going to be the case here. Early pressure towards A long here for Renegades as part of their default, with Naf pressuring towards B by himself.
JDM keeping an eye on the plateau, although there are smokes all over the shop. They've re-smoked deep. Nitro looks over the smoke in long A. There are 4 Renegades players there, but not holding those angles at present. So Liquid may feel like they've got some information as they slowly edge away from that position. They seem to have a read, because there's nobody in the drop zone at all for the CT side. Twist and Zeus are now looking in the underpass area, so they seem to have an idea as to what Renegades want to do here. They look very committed to this. Maybe they've done their homework. Renegades still holding position for now, but they've got 4 players in this position. Twist gets taken down in isolation, no one there to trade.
This is very awkward now for Team Liquid. It's 45 seconds left. They've expended all of their utility. They're down a man. This is a perfect spot for Renegades. They still have utility left, a huge amount of it. They have a lot of advantages. This is the kind of spot where Liquid have to say, whoa, we have to actually take some risks here. And here is the risk, and it's not going to go well. Nav is just waiting for it to snap. They're going to try to trade drop zone. Horrible timing here for Liquid as they lose both players, and now they should probably even think about saving their money, because how on earth do they get back into this? Well, Zeus does have the flank, but there's so many players here for Renegades to account for all of the eventualities. It should be impossible for Zeus to do much from this position. But maybe we should not count him out just yet. Maybe, with Nitro going ham, there's a chance.
Yeah, so it should be ready for him. Nifty's in a tight spot now. We know he's good with the AWP, but if he goes for the peek here, it is quite the commitment. And Molotov from the T side will try to slow Zeus down. He'll continue to make a nuisance of himself while Nitro tries to get more out of this. But can Nitro commit through the door? Subject to a smoke at the moment. And that bomb is too far ticked. But Liquid still holding position, maybe wanting Renegades to take nothing into this round. The flank from Nitro. He'll get one more, maybe two. He might survive from this position. Indeed he will. Still hunting for frags with his 9 bullets. Azza says no.
Very good. Nitro gain a huge amount of momentum into this one.
Zeus will be the rifle support for the AWP towards long A, smoking it off for the time being, around the minute 30 mark. And a grenade to follow, but damage is minimal. In the meantime, Nitro's sniper holds a line through the danger position. Although I do wonder, he's rescoped now, but
that's not going to happen.
Getting legged in the meantime, and Liquid will charge as the bomb gets planted. Only so much Renegades can do, surely, from this position. Nafly versus 2, holding angles around the tree position. One player's made it to the statue already. He's blind, and now he is gone. And I do wonder if Renegades even deserve to get that far, all things considered. If you look at the CT setup at the moment from Liquid, JDM is repeatedly allowed to post up down the B plateau. And in many cases, Liquid can just leave him there alone. This time they, maybe because of the previous rotation by Renegades back towards B, they had a Liege deep in there as well as a trade fragger. So I think if you run that 10 times, I think 8 out of 10 times Liquid are stopping Renegades from getting anywhere close to a bomb plant in that situation. So Renegades may want to consider the presence they have towards the plateau in the early round, because there were like 35 seconds left when they started going back towards plateau. And there was a smoke on the entrance.
Yeah, that was a bit of a solid from Liquid in the end with all the advantages. But I think Nitro is set up to have a massive game. He's already on 10 kills. He is looking crazy good right now. And so I love that he's playing the AWP and rotation from A. Now we've got the take of drop there with the pistols. Twist will give it up as he should. What else can Twist do here from this position? Now as they start to try to pressure him, he wants to maintain a very close position so that he can get some spray in onto these oncoming terrorist players and also keep a tab onto them. Nitro will spot them going across. So right now, Liquid just herding them, shepherding them into their own device. Perhaps, but Nitro, not a good position to be in.
Only 1 kill per side so far. It starts to rain in now, and it seems that Liquid looking reasonably comfortable, at least in that round. Towards the end of it, in control, despite the bedlam. Let's see if they can build their money, however. Renegades back on the buy now, still have an opportunity to break Team Liquid, but again, I think we need to see more from Renegades at the beginning of the round. I think they've had a few rounds where they've had a number of people towards A and just the one towards B, but they need to keep the sniper, if they can, further away from the plateau and more towards the statue, so they don't have that information. Or they need to make it expensive for them to get that. JKS hasn't got a kill in this game yet, and he's normally a dependable player for Renegades, so that's got to change. Tactical timeout just expired for the Renegades side, and he's normally a dependable player. And out come the AKs.
Yeah, this is kind of the scary thing. It's the reality we saw, previously when Liquid played Flipside on this map yesterday. That if you allow Liquid to get a comfortable CT side, up to like 8 rounds, something like that, their T side is going to be very good. So they've already done almost all the work they need to do to set themselves up for a win in the match. So Renegades do need to just stop this right now and just get rid of all this money, and they don't have too many chances to do that. The full AKs, though, will allow them a quick pace, a dynamic play style. They should be able to have good spacing, set up good trades. As we see Naf trying to pressure the B plateau and try to remove some of the utility, maybe get a cheeky kill onto JDM if he overextends. Oh, there's a free one, and a second is his as well. That's a bomb site, very open. His team will now rally very quickly behind him to try to capitalize upon the opportunity that has now presented itself.
They've got to get past the choke points though, and they're still there. They've been there for a while, now spreading out. 4 people on the site, and they are all over this. That is a great response from Renegades. Twist, how committed is he to this? That's 2 kills for him. Goes for the straight transfer, but he can't find the third. A nice adjustment from Renegades, and it's not even because NAF got a 2K and opened the site there, but it was focusing on stopping them from taking this area for free. JDM overextends, and now they've got to respect this position. Now they've got to respect the fact that Renegades will come hunting for them if they think that this is just gratis for them.
It's kind of a weird spot now for Team Liquid because at least will drop some PT50s, but their economy is in a really weird place. Because they've sort of just been reset and everybody has around $2,000, they won't have that optimal money. It's only really JDM and Unleash that will to buy all the nades and utility in the next round. So they may have to make some choices to maybe pick up some UMPs to have full utility, or maybe sacrifice the utility for good rifles. So definitely a lot of things for Liquid to think about being in this position, and a very timely win from Renegades to cripple their economy in this way. Things for Liquid to think about, but I'm not sure NAF is going to find opportunities like that too often. So,
yeah, but the respect might be enough. The respect that he demands may be enough. But first, we need to get through, or they need to get through this eco round with well-placed Molotovs, especially when there's a smoke deployed for the CTs to fight around. They need to get through this eco round. Silo very aware of the gap in that smoke, works both ways. JDM looking away in case there's a flashbang, but he is close. And there we go, the Molotovs being deployed, forcing the CTs into the open, but JDM manages to get the first kill. That wall trade, looking for more underneath, and it's not really going well for them. Playing around a broken wall. There are many casualties around the B bomb site, but I'm not sure if these guns can be collected by the CTs. 2 on 2 though, with a very dangerous Elige. He may have to do the heavy lifting in this situation. Zeus by his side of the USP, moving together, salivating for those weapons on the floor. Elige to go down first, Nifty to transfer onto Zeus. Could have been worse. The smoke, I mean, yeah, I don't like a smoke there versus a versus an eco. It's dangerous.
JDM found a good timing too. I think he was pretty lucky with the timing, and he anticipated well. And that's another round for Renegades, but a messy one for sure, and they won't be left with much in the bank because of that. And now the full buy comes in from Liquid. We'll see the double orb, but you can see how they are light on grenades here. Each player missing, roughly 2, apart from Nitro and Twist. So that's not optimal, but they will have the rifles that they want. And the firepower, it's hard to mitigate it when you don't have it. Nitro and Twist. So that's not optimal, but they will have. So now it's going to be about how Renegades can try to take map control again towards A with default. Wow, okay, Nifty gets one through the smoke. I'm not sure if he had full vision or just a very good angle. What else will he get here? JKS was tagged down quite low, but positioning here from Nifty looking very strong. This could very well end up being an A round here for Renegades.
But the whole team have abandoned B again. Nafly was lurking for a time. He threw a few grenades over there, and he's gone. And Liquid have an opportunity to get a read. JDM is actually rotating towards the A site, but Legion Twist are heading, so they're still up 2 per site. Liquid, they don't have as much information as maybe they could have, although there are smokes there. JDM missing a crucial shot, but he's got more opportunities. He's slow taken down. The Molotov won't compromise his position, but maybe his vision, hard to see through them. But now Zeus is activated, popping out from nowhere, and they're buying loads of time for the rotation to come in, and here it is.
Struggle for JDM. Can there be a recovery from his teammates? Yes, there will be. So far, so good. NAF goes for the transfer, but it's not gonna land. And Zeus really bailing JDM out there, able not only to keep him covered so that he can take peeks towards the APC, but also covering the frag towards the player rushing the cannons. And at the end there, just staying alive. So Zeus is doing some great work in support so far for the team. And that's a very crippling round to lose for Renegades. They were not able to really build bank. Now they have to save again.
If you look at G2 in the previous round, there were some rounds where Kenny, they were low on numbers on the T side, but Kenny was selling a fake on his own, committing to it. Shox was selling a fake on his own, committing to it. And I think Renegades had the numbers to do that with NAF and keep the CTs entertained for longer and stretch them out more. Now they're back on the pistols, Renegades, and Liquid have a great chance to have a really good first half of Cobblestone. They chose to start on a CT side, so far so good. Forcing these T players out into the open now. Really good first Oh, hello. Okay, opportunity not for Nat. 1 versus 2, but his fun has come to an end for this round. No plant for Renegades.
Ooh, can't save the orb.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Oh, he did. Okay, they did manage. Zeus managed to find one of the orbs of the 2. They lost a lot of money that round, and again, it's one of those spots where I feel like, you know, so far we're seeing a very slow start from JDM. There was a very realistic possibility from the previous round where Zeus sort of bailed him out, but he did die, where JDM should have just got the kills. Like, he missed, I think, 2 shots, which I think, you know, you normally expect him to hit. So he's off to a slow start with the orb, and there as well, another spot where it wasn't the most optimal performance from him, but his teammates, again, they're getting the orb back into his hands, keeping him into the action, and that's really important. So Liquid now, not with the most optimal situation on the money. Nitro will be having to use an MP9. That's going to be fun. And Zeus indeed back onto the CZ.
Yeah, so this is a tight round for both teams. So maybe it's a good thing that JDM's just had to stare at an empty plateau for a few rounds while he warms up into the game. 7-4. Many possible scores at this point. See what Renegades have in store for the CT side. Again, it's used towards long A. Nitro around the danger position. Nafly will be lurking towards B once again. So this is how Renegades more or less started out in their buy round. It's 4 towards A, 1 towards B, but Nafly is not really harassing B because he's got to keep an eye on the drop zone as well. So he's just holding a super passive position at 126. In the meantime, Zeus has found a lot of information, spotted the bomb as well. Nitro is still there with the fast fire rate of the MP9. Still got bullets, but Nifty will trade. There are only 2 members left, and Twist is making his way up the danger position. Liquid now in a 1-1-1 formation. Liege round drop. JDM moving to play close to him while still keeping an eye on B. And they may have to play the waiting game on these last 2 Renegades players. Moving to play close to him while still keeping an eye on B.
Twist has a great position though. I mean, they may try to check it as they walk past. But Twist, I think if they are just walking, he will have an advantage into the engagement. I mean, they may try to check it as they walk. If he gets just 1 kill and gets traded, that's still a fantastic situation. He sees it as well. Will he look for the next player? Gets caught by Nifty. Nifty knows he has to be fast now as he starts to pressure towards the site very quickly. Spots the next one. Nifty, clairvoyant perhaps. 1 more player to find as he rushes to the site. 25 seconds to get the plant. Plenty of time. Nifty now dropping the bomb there. Punches in the numbers. Orb back in action as he scopes up towards the APC. But it's all a guessing game now between the likes of JDM and Nifty. Nifty would make this a 4K. Should he be able to clutch this one? JDM has the use of an incendiary and a flashbang. A defuse kit as well. Options for both players here. There it is. Nifty gets a spot. Can he do it? Up onto the roof, drops down there. Can't quite find the angle, but he does! Back into it is JDM, and back at it again is Nifty. We're so used to seeing these clutches from him. I am loving it that it just doesn't stop, James.
So much info for Liquid early on, but they were ill-equipped. 3 kills, a flurry of kills, but Nifty is true to his name. So much fun to watch him, and that was a crucial kill at the end there. JDM drawing for the P250, perhaps so he could fire faster after taking the up shot, but it wasn't enough. Liquid are still on a buy, but it's even worse than the last one. That does not bode well. Round 13. Liquid are still on a buy in the first half, but it's even worse than the last one. That does not bode well. Renegades taking it slow now. They don't know what to make of the Liquid situation, perhaps. Maybe we'll use time to find out. Don't know what to make of passive start. Not wanting to make any mistakes. This time, Zeus is in danger on his own, looking for that info. JDM and Nitro deep in A. Twist and Liege dealing with B. And again, 1 minute mark, nobody lurking towards B for Renegades, and Liege may start to get hungry for information. Indeed, he's moved up to the plateau now, and he's seen that nobody's there. So Liquid can keep 3 people towards A for the time being. Liege may start to get hungry for information, indeed.
It is very scary though, isn't it? These are just those kinds of rounds which have you sweating a little bit before you get a bomb planted. There could be pistols around every corner. Zeus will find a lot of damage there. Doesn't get a kill though, and that's really a big problem. They need to diminish the numbers as they start to increase onto the site, but the nade actually does it. Finishes off the very weak player in JKS, but Ustillo can't actually find the frag. Now they know where Nitro is. Oh my god, everybody's just being erased here off of this round, and it's now just down to 2 here for Liquid, but they're still doing the damage. Nifty pulling out the clock. What on earth was that? Liquid with a surprise victory in this round, now scavenging for the high-value guns, and Elige, he's going to collect it all. He's going to be chopped to bits. Liquid with a surprise victory in this round, which means very happy if you're not British. For the high-value guns,
yeah, chuffed, not charred. Renegades, they didn't have an ideal buy either. There was Mac 10 in play and so on. I like, though, how Zeus is putting himself sometimes in forward positions. He's essentially sacrificing himself to get the info for his team, to kind of to give them a few seconds of warning. And it seems to be working out. Renegades on pistols now in the second last round of the first half. And it seems to be working out. All advantages have gone away in the second last round of the. Let's see now. 4 players around the B bomb site for Liquid, and again, Zeus will be the information man towards A, moving into the underpass. He may hear some footsteps from JKS. Lots of running going on around long A. See them looking for information, but again, Renegades can't expect to get much out of this anyway. He may hear some footsteps from JKS. Lots of running going on around long A. See them looking for information, but again, Renegades
lots of running for Zeus to hear. Here's all the footsteps. They have the numbers though, so they can just hold their positions, have confidence in the fact that they have the superior weapons. Twist just waiting in a great spot there. It's very hard to anticipate exactly where he is. Lots of off angles you can play around pillars such as this. Easy 2 and 3. Now just 2 more to go. Quick maths. You can play around pillars such as this. Easy 2 and 3.
There's one of them.
Now just 2 more to go.
JKS, no armor in the UMP. $1,000 is dead. Death by paper cuts in that round. We move to the last round of the first half. Will Liquid make it to 10? See what the buy looks like for Renegades in just a few seconds. Twist with a nice angle to ensure himself of some 1 versus 1s, or raise the probability. Man takes care of his hair, it seems. To ensure himself of some 1 versus 1s, or raise the probability.
Well, we all aspire to be like more like Shocks, James.
Do we?
And that is part of it, part of the journey. Well, we all aspire to be more like Shocks.
I'm a head shaver for life, Dan.
That is part of it, part of the journey. Well, we can see this a similar approach. Renegades in their defaults, they often play towards the long position, and perhaps that's becoming predictable. Nitro with a fast one gets the 1v1 versus Azza, and he's quite successful. As the rest of Renegades now announcing their presence, and this is really interesting because there's actually a huge amount of info and also past information that could allow Liquid to believe that they're going to try to play into A here, but they are rotating back. But again, the issue is that they haven't made any noise towards drop or any noise towards plateau, so the B players have maximum grenades to defend any kind of a push still. Or as many as you could hope. Maybe they have been a little bit too gratuitous in their use of grenades, but still.
Again, JDM is just staring at the walls on B plateau. There is a smoke down which the T's could cross, but he's aware of that and has deployed grenades as necessary. So let's see the late play from Renegades. Great timing from JDM to confirm that nobody's on that side. Now he can focus. He sees the grenades raining in, and they go straight into his crosshair. They could have been closer with some early grenades, but no. They will face maximum range. 5 versus 2 now in this last round, and they'll be cut down 1 by 1. And this is what I'm talking about. In that previous round, where they managed to plant the bomb, perhaps they didn't deserve to, because this is how I expected that round to go as well.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's absolutely how it should have gone. And you know, sometimes you have a bit of a slow start to the game, and I think that is definitely the case for JDM here. Definitely starting to get back into the swing of things. A very brutal game for Renegades on the, I mean, the whole point of this map is getting rounds on the T side. Like, you should expect yourself to get a lot more rounds on the T side. It should be the stronger side. You can have all of the map to play with. You can create these defaults that can be 5 different strategies, and that's sort of the power of it, and it's very hard for the CTs to do anything. So when you actually play a game and you're like, whoa, we only got 5 rounds on T side, and you move to the CT side, you usually don't feel on top of the world. So I'm hoping that Renegades can keep things together just ignore that fact and just play a hell of a CT side. But Liquid, I mean, we saw from them previously against Flipside. I don't think Flipside got more than one round against them when the side switched. So we can expect strength from Liquid. I mean, we saw from them previously against Flipside. I don't think Flipside got more than one round against them when the side switched. So
well then,
we can expect strength.
Renegades have lots of work to do. 5 rounds down, but it's Liquid who may set the pace. Now they're on the T side. They're all moving together, it seems. 5 rounds down, but it's Liquid who... Nifty, that's a good start from him. 2 players with grenades for Liquid. There's a smoke which I assume is useful deployed towards the door. There's a Molotov in tow as well, maybe for the site, should they get that far, but Nifty's trying to be everywhere. JKS has got range as well, dropped the bomb that was being carried by Elige. Now it's the turn for Lifty again. Molotov indeed goes towards the site, but there are no frags for Liquid. They need to find kills here. Renegades, he's a jamming gun. Coming together like Power Rangers. Near a battle cry. We are 2 tables away from us. Liquid on the other side of the room. Coming together like Power Rangers.
And one thing to note as well is that's the second pistol round that Renegades have won in this game. However, on the first half, they did get reset immediately, so that's their mission now. It's not to experience the same thing. We'll see whether or not Liquid have any tricks up their sleeves. They did not get the bomb down, so their mission now, they don't have that extra money. Often teams will just force buy in that position, but not Liquid here. They're just going for some pistols, no nades, no armor, and you can see JDM and Zeus saving a lot of money here by just buying the PT-50s, and the rest of the players just Eagles. So the objective for Liquid is damage. They want at least a couple kills here to keep that economy honest of Renegades, and then it's going to be the same story for the next round. They want at least
a couple tings,
to keep that economy honest,
as the Mandem would say.
Of Renegades, and then it's going to be the same story for the next round.
Istillo holding off angle at the end of the plateau. He has Naf and Azza for support. There are no grenades to be thrown here by Team Liquid, and they may have been a cue for a flash to be thrown should a push come in towards B. But indeed, the bomb is moving towards A. Legion Nitro far ahead, and only Nifty is towards A at the moment. But indeed, the bomb is moving, so perhaps they can take him by surprise. He has the MP9, a fast weapon, but not the best weapon in the world, not always the most reliable. JKS making his way towards A. But I think they could have used a flashbang Renegades. I don't know if they have. Towards the plateau. Istillo now starting to move. He's got a Molotov out, and JDM's pushing in the meantime, and that might draw some CTs back towards the B bomb site. While the bomb comes out towards A, this is going to get really interesting. JKS on the site on A, Nifty on the ramp as the silence continues, but JKS's position is very unexpected. Nifty's got the 1D in his face, and there's no kill for JKS. This may collapse around them.
Oh my god, this is absolutely horrendous for Renegades. They can't get back in. It's just going to be a conga line through the choke points as the Deagles reign supreme. Nitro ready, waiting, and what do you even do if you're Renegades from this position? It's so hard to go for this round, but they're going to have to try. There's no other result, and now Naf realizes this might be a little bit too difficult, and he's going to try to just back out of there, but will Twist allow him? It's like he will be able to escape for the time being. So he's going for the challenge. I respect that. Only in the P250, there's almost nothing to lose here for the Liquid players, and eventually they will claim themselves the M4. Oh man, those angles not working out. JKS on the cannons, he couldn't cover for Nifty.
So Liquid managed to walk all the way down to B plateau and all the way down long A at the same time, and then essentially offer a fake towards B due to the lack of info seeking from Renegades. I don't know if they threw a pop flash to get some info before they rotated away from B because they weren't on our screen at the time, but Istillo was still in the corner, so I don't know what Renegades were doing in that round, apart from standing in bomb sites. But
dying in bomb sites.
Considering that they have now won 2 pistols, as you mentioned, man, this is quite a disastrous situation.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, isn't it? Oh dear. I mean, it's again, you never aim to lose a round, but if you do lose the pistol round and you win that force buy, the implications on your economy and your opponent's economy are actually a better case scenario. Even though you have to concede a round for it, you have an opportunity to build a lot more bank and momentum. And Liquid are giving this a lot of respect early round. They don't want to make any mistakes. I think right now, you know, one of the things we're seeing from Liquid is just generally a more efficient and more effective approach to CSGO. And, you know, Renegades, there's been some holes here or there. As we can see, those holes have been exploited by Liquid. Playing some good CS at the moment. Winning as a team, and I like that. Always a fan of that when you're in an anti-eco situation.
Nobody on the A side. Curious to see what Renegades choose to do. Once they realize, will they run to their doom, or will they try to hide somewhere and not give extra money away to Team Liquid? Time will tell. They hear the grenades now, and they must know that Liquid picked the correct straw. Deep Renegades moving away from A, but it may spread out around the other side of it. Nitro, being aware of this, has made his way towards T-spawn already, so he's trying to go as wide as possible to stop Renegades from trying to go for exit frags, which appears to be the job they want to do. Elige, StarCraft aim, nice trade from him. That leaves Naf as the lone survivor by the tree. Maybe he has a name for the tree. Maybe the tree is his friend. No other friends in this round for Naf.
Yep, it's a harsh, a cruel reality.
Maybe the tree is his friend.
Cold world to Renegades at the moment. It's going to be hard for them to dig themselves out of this. Honestly, this is sort of entering worst case, well, it is worst case territory for them.
He only had one bullet in his magazine on his CZ, by the way.
Yeah, I saw well, it is worst case territory for them.
He only had one bullet.
Okay, well, let's have a look and see what Liquid's approach is this round as well. So far, they've been consistent. They've been disciplined. We've seen a great game from Nitro in particular. And although, you know, Zeus is only 9 for 10, I think, you know, he's been very impactful in the rounds that he has been, you know, fragging. And obviously, you know, he's operating and doing a lot of calling, picking up a lot of the information, doing a great job for his team.
Grenades. Taking chunks. And those are some more chunks. Chunks of death, that.
Chunks of death. Raining down on the drop zone.
As he manages to escape with whatever chunks he has left. He's a man of few chunks there. Because many a chunk has been...
Ooh, damage maybe. Nah. They get one but traded out, and numbers is with Liquid, and they decide to pull the trigger on the push onto the A bomb site. And it should be a pretty simple affair from this point forward. As we see JDM just trying to spray down the remainder, but a little bit of a complication there. But again, it's honestly, they won't sweat it. Like at this point, there can be some inefficiencies in how, you know, people are dying and, you know, how they're losing money because Liquid are in just such a huge advantage to win this game.
I have to say, when I saw that the map was cobblestone, I feared for my pick of Renegades. Did not think this would bode well for them. But they're still in with a fight. Here is their buy round. Nifty on the AWP, CT side. This is where they can really do some damage, but Liquid going to be too much for them. Zeus, I think, used himself in the best way he could on the CT side, but how can he enable his team on the T side? He'll be harassing the plateau for the time being. Doing the job Nafly was doing. So he may take some risks there. Meanwhile, JDM's been picked towards A. However, Elige and Nitro are making some inroads through the long position. The bomb's been left by the boulder, though. Swiss may go to collect that. However, Elige and Nitro are making some inroads.
I think slow down a bit as Renegades start to play really passively. And it makes sense, you know, you have that kill. As James mentioned, JDM did go down just earlier. Ooh, that's an easy one for Nifty, looking for that. That's a move that I think, you know, Nifty probably has seen a bunch of times before. And again, having the 5 versus 4 that they did, they decide that that's enough to just play incredibly passive positions. You can give up almost all the map control and just have some strong setups. And hey, that's a bonus. Now it's just Nitro, Zeus, and Twists, but you can't count them out, especially not Nitro. He's having a great game so far, and Zeus is the first man in. Let's see what they can do.
5 versus 3, Liquid standing in the choke point around the fire. But there is an opening frag for them on this side. Lots of Renegades players all standing in the same line. That's going to be dangerous for them. And the frags will rain in for Team Liquid. Now it's a 2-1-2. 25 seconds. JKS is the last man standing. What on earth has just happened?
Oh my god! Zeus wins his 1v1, and then Nitro's just stood there, broken wall, trying to 1v3. And the combination of the grenade and the timings, the peaks, I don't even understand. man, that was incredible. Zeus and Nitro, new duo.
looking at the, like, it looks like 3 players on the CT side were all in a similar line, but it's hard to tell from the X-ray. This does not look like a good map for Renegades. On the CT side were all
It's kind of crazy too, because in the past, Renegades have just often loved to go to, a cobblestone, but they just, this was always my issue with Renegades, and I think for many people as well. It's just that consistency from Renegades. It's hard to find, and Liquid are a very stable, steady team at the moment. Even that they're playing with Zeus. Obviously, Zeus is their coach. He's a guy that has created the structure. He knows in and out exactly how the team should play. So despite jumping in to line up instead of steal, it's not like they're going to forget their system or how to play, or that it's really a massive difference. And the way they've been adapting with him has been quite remarkable. So. Not skipping a beat so far, really. Massive difference. And the way they've been adapting with him is
there may be no beat for Renegades very soon indeed. Someone's been on the VR, been on that surgeon simulator, taken all the organs out. Very soon indeed. Replaced it with carbonated drinks that high in sugar. Maybe a touch of high fructose corn syrup, perhaps. Replaced it with carbonated drinks. Renegades are in a terrible situation. They haven't gone for the full force buy. They've gone for some pistols here and there, and the scout, at this point in the round, they have no grenades. They are banking on Bedlam. Fortune, Fortune may favor the brave, but it will not favor the nifty.
And so far, Liquid have been really disciplined in their anti-ecos and anti-force buys. We haven't seen them put a foot wrong just yet. A slow, steady, and disciplined approach, a routine approach, most importantly. It tells you everything you need to know. Crossing their T's, dotting their I's, diligence is everywhere here on the Liquid side as they start to make their way into the B-bomb site for the plant in the end of the round. Would give them 15. And really, at this point, they're just going through the motions. It seems rather enjoyable for them. And really, at this point, they're just going not so much for Renegades.
Yeah, what to even say at this point? What is there to say? I mean, they want both pistols. They've got 6 rounds. They got reset both times.
I mean, they'll have the 5th round loss bonus, which is $3,400. They've set up a lot of cash, so they will have everything they want next round. Everything they could possibly want, they will have it next round. So they'll have at least one solid buy before it's all over, to at least try to scrape something together in this game. Perhaps, some respect, regain some dignity. Because ending a game like this is not going to be an enjoyable way to do it, to be honest. It's going to feel so much worse than if you are able to somewhat, remedy some of the problems on the fly and then, make a good comeback. Maybe if you'll still lose potentially, but then at least you can feel less bad about it moving forwards. On the fly and then, make a good comeback. Maybe if there's a timeout here from Renegades as they try to concoct a plan, a strategy, something, anything to deal with Team Liquid.
They have their max loss bonus. They will have a full buy. Question is, how do they win? How do they stop Nitro? A Nitro who is currently 27 for 12. How do they win? No one else on the server is even in the 20s. He's beasting right now. He's leaving handprints, Dan, on the arses of Renegades.
The crazy thing as well is that you could see this, like I think in round 7 or something, when he was 10 and 2, just by seeing his POV, his point of view, we saw the fact that wow, he's actually looking really clean, really confident, he's winning clutches, and we know that his skill level is insane. So it's sort of like any star level player, when you see them having a really good start to a game, you know they're going to go huge, and that's exactly what Nitro's done. I mean, that's a huge amount of frags considering we are just only past half, like 6 rounds past halfway point in regulation time. That's a massive score, even if full 30 rounds played. Like 6 rounds past halfway. Doing excellent work for his team. That's a massive score, even if again. So is Zeus. I've honestly been very impressed, I should say, with how Zeus has been integrated as a player into the team and how they're playing around him, how he's enabling them. Very impressed.
Liquid started slow, preying on the desperation and the fear of Renegades, and they charge towards the A site As around the smoke in the connected position, Nifty is alone. He's exposed, and he's just coming in from the back. He spotted his posterior. He can warn his teammates, but Zeus will go down regardless. And there's no trade. Nifty is still alive, doing what he does on Cobblestone, but is it too much, too little, too late? We will find out. Twist taken down. It's Nitro alone. Time to clutch once again. 1 versus 4 for Nitro. One player on the balcony. Naf basically not going to work out. These players, they can't line up for him. The transfer won't be fast enough. 2 kills, doing more damage, but Renegades at least find round number 7.
The insane thing for me there is that actually, I think Nitro was trying to gamble on actually jumping over the side, down between the APC, around the APC, and after the kill on the player on balcony. And I think he just actually missed the jump. I think if he makes that jump with the form he's been in, he may actually win the round. He may actually clutch it. That's kind of insane. I mean, he got 2. So, I mean, we can look at it this way. He's in a 1v4. He cannot move. And he still gets 2 kills. He's stuck in a corner. Still gets 2 kills. Brilliant stuff from him there. And additional damage done. But something for Renegades, at least, as they move forwards. But JKS will be relegated to a UMP, which is not ideal. But he can take a position that is suitable for a weapon such as that. Anything that's close range will be suitable. Relegated to a UMP. They could go for a fast play towards B, perhaps. That is suitable for a weapon such as that.
See how many grenades they invest into this. They look pretty committed to and execute presumably a wall of smokes. Better get your gas masks ready. Istilo and Naf are already ahead of that, but will they stay there? If they do, they may have a lot of information. Istilo's got clean vision now of the plateau area, and there's the rotation. Nifty sees the bomb immediately. Full rotation and one man flanking. Nifty misses a second shot. That would have bought a lot of time, but JKS and Azza are already on the site. Liquid have lost the map control in both directions. Istilo's still charging. He may want to slow down now and just contain these players, because if he goes down, there's nobody on B. Naf has to rotate back. Renegade spread everywhere, but he's still pushing. I don't think he needs to anymore.
Yeah, he can definitely hold. Right now, his teammates have a very solid position on the bomb site. He doesn't have to get kills, as you say. He wants to get kills once Liquid commits, and they have not committed yet. They've got 45 seconds. Don't want to pull the trigger too early on this one. There it is. Now he can start to push in as Twist goes for the frag onto Azza, the return kills, but it's pretty good for Renegades, and they'll clean up the round. Have they done enough to actually diminish the economy? Liquid don't actually have a huge amount of money. They can actually buy in this round. I don't think they should, because okay, they could get full AKs on most players, but they would be lacking grenades and so on, and they could buy it up and have no Kevlar on Nitro, for example. Like there are possibilities to buy, but they're in that spot. It's match point. They don't care about Renegades' economy. All they care about is getting the maximum amount of full buy rounds for themselves, which maximizes their opportunity to win. And that's what they're doing. So, or actually, they do half buys, so whatever. At this point, we can't put it past them winning any rounds. I mean, they won a round with 3 Deagles and 2 P250s, and that was it. At this point, we can't put
one more round. If you're a fan of the Horsey Horse, that is the official name.
Oh, it is?
No, it's not. I'm lying. One more round. Renegades with half the score of Liquid, more or less. That is the official name.
Oh, it is?
Lying in wait. Will they make the same mistake twice? Let's not forget that round where Liquid were able to creep deep B and A at the same time. They've already got significant map control towards A. Yes, they are ill-equipped, but if they can play the numbers game, then who knows? There's a flashbang off your screens for Istilo to have a look and see what's going on in Plateau, and he sees absolutely nothing, but still, JKS is alone towards A. That fly's starting to move over there now. Renegades have to be prepared for a push. Azza will keep an eye on the connector position, and Zeus will be the man to sacrifice himself once again. Here at the smoke there, and JKS has spotted a lot of information, spreading his love all over Liquid, leaving Nitro alone with the Deagle. It's a question of damage now for Nitro, though. If he can pick off Naf, maybe there's a bomb plant in this for him. Naf dancing around the APC. Azza making his way towards the balcony. And there is the kill. Round number 9 for Renegades.
Round number 9. 6 more to go, and the reward is overtime. Lots of things can go wrong in that time. They have to hold steady, maintain composure. It's Liquid to take the tactical. Lots of things can go wrong in that time. We'll see JDM on the AWP straight away. And they will decide what they should do with this. Again, we haven't seen, there's a lot of stuff that Liquid haven't done just yet. A lot of things that they haven't tested just yet. Again, we haven't seen. So I'm curious to see if we'll see a mix-up of approach, or whether they'll go back to one of the true or tried and tested rounds. Again, we haven't seen. So I'm curious to see if we'll see a mix-up of approach. Again, defaults on this map are so effective, and Liquid have been pretty strong with those rounds. So there's likely no reason to betray that idea just yet. This is quite cool, you know, just having that time to sit down and sort of just spread the information about different positions and confirm certain facts about how the opponents have been playing to best inform the decision. So let's see how they handle it as Liquid make their way quickly towards the B plateau. Ooh, they may just walk through everything here. They may just go contact. This is sneaky stuff, James.
There are some counter grenades though from Renegades, and you can see that Nifty has been put into a dirty position. Will he go for a fast flank though? Is he brave enough? The presence of mind to Molotov behind him, Liquid, just in case, but what can they do on the B bomb site? Still in the choke point, the bomb is down. The burst from Naf gets 2 kills, leaving Nitro alone, 1 versus 4. Only Stillo has fallen in this round. Nifty's waiting, just waiting, and there it is, the AWP. 5 rounds, the margin for error is small, but the deficit isn't too large.
I actually love that choice from Liquid, because when you take a tactical like that, you know, usually people are thinking that, okay, there's going to be a slower, more elaborate round or something like that, but they just like, well, we're just going to walk through the smokes, actually, and just do a very fast contact play. And that really puts a lot of pressure on the first point of the first player that has contact, which in this case I believe was Naf, and he absolutely smashed it. He had a great performance there. If he does not do that, if he goes down straight away, they get down the stairs, the round's probably over for them.
Numbers game towards the A side. And the Snafflies turn to spread the jab. Round over. 4 rounds. This is where you start to sweat, you start to perspire, you need that roll on, you need that kind of lynx or axe since we are in America. This is where you start to sweat. Unless man is of course not hot there. But maybe Liquid will start to get hot if Renegades continue to close this distance. I think Renegades were desperate to get to the CT side. A lot of teams have been picking the CT side to start from Cobblestone recently.
Yeah, that's kind of funny to me. So that for Liquid's sake to then evaporate then. As now they start to try new things. It's a new journey, an Odyssey, Sojourn as for Liquid, and she's still going to go for the push. Do you see this often enough from him? He does like those antics, and you can leave him deep in that position and cheat players towards A if you think that's what's going to happen. But it's very early in the round to be doing, you know, to be cheating players anywhere. So you have to be quite cautious because they could explode onto you still for all they know.
Nifty was boosted over a smoke on A long by JKS. He didn't go too deep on the peak. He would have been shot in the face by Elige, no doubt, if he did, but he knows that there isn't the usual harassment there. But again, there's only so much information you can get on the CT side unless you're Zeus, it seems. Second AWP on Nafly. Avoiding the grenades, seeing lots of people, the same setup we saw from Liquid, which will be more successful though. So many players in the red for Liquid. The Molotov will take JDM down and Naf re-aggressive. 3 versus 3 though. Liquid could still make a fight out of this. Zeus and Twist on a combined 9 HP there.
Yeah, that 1v1 loss by Nitro there, or won by JKS, was massively key. Nitro wins that, he gets position, and the round's over. The game is over. It's very certain that's the case, but as you say now, it's Zeus and Twist left. 9 health collectively. That is not fun. For them at least, but for JKS, he's having a great time. Finishes off the remainder of the round. And that's going to be 1 more on the board for Renegades. Ever closer now.
Nice. So they could buy in this round Liquid. They would be lacking some grenades. Normally this is this would be the eco round, the middle round. Tactical timeout from Liquid to perhaps discuss this. Nitro and Twist have $3,800 and $3,900 respectively, so they would be short. So if they chose to force buy, maybe you would see a fast play due to lack of grenades here. And if they fail, they would be short and don't plant the bomb, we're looking at 14-15 essentially. So they're going to go for half buy. Liege with a UMP, and this is still a winnable round if they can get close enough, with these CZs especially. If they can get on the site, if they can get past, let's say, the B plateau choke point, the broken wall, with 4, maybe even 3 members if smokes are down, they may be able to win this round. Maybe.
We've seen it before.
Maybe even 3 members if smokes are down. On the other side, if Renegades can get to overtime and continue on the CT side, they may become a favourite to win this.
Yeah, everything gets very weird when you get to the overtime. So that very well may be the case. Yeah, everything gets deep towards the B plateau. At the moment, Renegades are playing a passive setup as expected. Don't want to take big risks against this buy. Renegades are playing a passive half buy of Team Liquid. Don't want to take big risks against. Now killing a lot of the clock at the moment. Nothing given to Renegades as far as information is concerned. Again, they're not really interested in going and seeking out information in this kind of a round, and that is the correct way to approach it.
They could still get a flash on plateau, I think. Yustelo's looking for grenades just facing the wall at the moment, underneath the crack in the wall, so giving the opportunity for Liquid to burst onto a site by not really abusing the range afforded to them. JDM on the balcony now, and he's been spotted. There's 4 more people towards the B bomb site. He's been taken down, but what else is there? In the meantime, Twist is left with 12 HP. The bomb's been lost, so perhaps it's crisis averted, but I get worried when I see those situations. The bomb's been lost.
Yeah, the thing. Again, it came down to a 2v1 on the ramp, and they just couldn't win it. And that's JKS, doing massive work, being that man once again. JKS has been that guy twice now. Twist is still going for this, though. 13 seconds. He doesn't have time to get the bomb and plant it, I don't think. Or does he? If he runs all the way and there's no one to stop him. Ooh. Well, I think he would have had to have planted open. And I think then he would 100% have died, so there was no chance there for Twist. 13 rounds for Renegades. We were sort of calling out, or at least I was sort of calling out their T side a bit. And it's Liquid who are super struggling on that T side. It's really looking very, very tough. And now the double ops comes into play. And Naf picking that one up again. He was deadly with a rifle. He's just as deadly with an AWP as well. Naf is a player that's always been fun to watch. He was deadly with a rifle.
All the rounds. All the rounds. 3 Liquid players making their way towards the plateau. Smokes down. But they've taken their initial presence. Twist is in that corner wall. Even in this situation, a CT could get a Molotov there and spray to anticipate a T leaving and try and get a kill that way. There's the Molotov.
They very obviously dropped the bomb there as well. I think the sound cue would have been heard by the nearest player, which is Azza.
Yustelow threw the Molotov, but didn't spray through the smoke. He just went to face the wall in case there was a push. So I think that's an opportunity lost there. Bardov gets a kill there every time. He just went to face the wall in case there was a push.
Going for the commitment towards B here is Liquid. They have gotten rid of all the the initial counter grenades. There's only flashbangs left now for Renegades. And there's a minute left, so that's actually kind of a good situation to be in. And Zeus will claim the drop zone by himself. This is very scary for Renegades. They must win the opening engagements.
JKS spots Zeus making his way out of the drop zone. Has he done enough distraction? Nafly around the statue position. Yustelow is support rifle, and he is pushing JDM, but he gets taken down by Nitro. But Nitro is alone, and I think we are headed to 14-15 unless Nitro can burst into the A-bomb site. Nifty holding an angle, going back towards B now. JKS is there. 27 seconds. He's got to reload soon. 11 bullets left for him. He knows there's 1 player behind him, 1 player in front of him. Does he know where the 3rd player is? He's running out of time to make a decision, and it seems he will go towards the A site. 13 seconds left. Nifty has a great angle because he's covering every entrance to the site itself. Nitro going around the back, but he's spending so much time that he can't plant the bomb anymore. The shot's missed by Nifty, but Nitro has to go for the kill. Too late to win the round now, and he made that after time. He's taken the AWP away. Perhaps it will be saved, but I think there was maybe too much indecision there.
Yeah, I think there was just too much information for Renegades as well, that they were going to push B. I mean, they had, sure, Renegades didn't have any grenades left apart from flashbangs, but they had 4 players. They had 4 players just sitting there, waiting for the push to come in. It was very telegraphed.
Nitro has 36 kills.
It slowed down a lot on the T side. He was 28, 29.
No. He's got 18 on both. He's got 18 on both.
Oh, really?
Yeah. According to the stats in the game.
That's pretty sure. Interesting.
But that's what it says here. I don't know if it's correct though. Sometimes it's wrong. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it is wrong.
I think it's quite wrong.
Yeah, all right.
By the way, that's not a good start. Once again, pressuring B Plateau. It's just not really gone too well for Team Liquid. And again, very good. The bomb is dropped there. They're so committed. How is the bomb? Oh no. How is the bomb? How is Nitro dying with the bomb there? He must not have known that he had the bomb. Now they are completely committed into attacking B. Renegades know it. They've reinforced it with every single player. There's surely no way. He must not have known that he had the bomb. Now they are completely committed into attacking.
There's still 4 of them alive. Okay, this is turning into a mess. Elige has said no. What is going on in this round? Not like this, surely! Up close behind the smoke, taken by surprise with the AWP, and now Nifty. It's time to clutch. 2 players in the red. He spots one crossing, but he's got 2 more to wonder, and he can't know how tagged these players are. How does he avoid getting traded? He can't. That is a collapse at the very end.
Oh my god, there is no way that it should have gone down like that. That was a massive blunder for Nitro to have the bomb. He may not have known, someone maybe have tossed it to him, the information may not have been communicated, and he dies when his team is so far away. All of Renegades were in position to guard the bomb. I just do not understand, because if we look at it as well, Liquid did not have the weaponry. They had they were sorely lacking in utility. They should never have won that round in Renegades. Oh my god, that is such a horrible way to lose.
So close and yet so far. Really unfortunate stuff for Renegades, but congratulations to Team Liquid. Another victory in the bag. Thoughts of the desk on this one after the break.
Calling it?
Flash time, left side. You're
Nice!
Alright, we're dead.
Last guy was close connector.
Low.
Nice! Woo! Nice!
And we're SWAT!
We're dead.
Last guy was close connector. Sight. Low.
Nice! How are they just...
Nice. And we're SWAT!
Nice job. Nice job. We're out of time. Let's go. Another.
Nice.
Wait.
Nice!
Door.
Door!
Nice job.
Well, you can see how disappointed Cassad is about that. It was an incredibly close match, another great one here on the third day. And we've got Yanko and Moses on the desk to break this one down. Yanko, this is your old friend. I mean, like, you know, it must be terrible to see him like that.
I mean, it is rough, especially because I know how much time he puts into, you know, his work and how much he works on preparing the team. And, you know, the fashion in which they lost, not just the game in the end, but some of the rounds that they were losing throughout this game, obviously against Pistols, winning both pistol rounds, then losing both anti-eco rounds, losing yet another anti-eco round in the first half. It's just been very, very crushing for Renegades here.
They had a very similar way of losing on the first day, didn't they? They came back from a huge deficit and lost in the very last round, right before forcing overtime as well. So that's just got to be stressful. And, I mean, it can be tough because when you're losing that kind of games with those comebacks, those are sometimes the things like you can't really like coach. You can't really coach them how to like not make mistakes and collapse in those final rounds. So that's tough for Cassad certainly. I would think the biggest thing you can point out here, Nitro had a ridiculously good game. He's had a ridiculous tournament in majors so far. Yeah. Nifty is really emerging as a young star, someone who's been impressive in North America over the past few months and however long he's been doing this for, and he still continues to just seem to exceed expectations. So that's two players that are really cool. And if Nitro is going to have a major like this and he keeps these stats up, it's going to be funny to see because Liquid's going to have a decision to make when they get out of this major and stop using Zeus. If Nitro's going to perform like this when he's not in-game leading, do you take Steel, who is the in-game leader for Immortals, and do you say you pick up the mantle?
Yeah, you know, problems to have, but
I mean, that last round,
bigger problems for Renegades.
They even have the man advantage and the bomb down. They have five players inside the B-bomb side, and somehow it still happens. Like, it's insane the fashion in which they lose some of these rounds. I mean, and the problem is, especially against Pistols, because this is something that they've been infamous for even earlier, that it gets into your head as a player, right? A round happens again, and then you're just scared. You just start getting scared, and you start, because everything you tried doesn't work, you keep losing it, then you just start doing some very, very weird things, and it just escalates the problem even more.
I'm going to point some fingers here, Yanko, and we'll get you in. Obviously, Moses thinks it's Dress Down Friday, but I will... Banter. Right. So the Australian players are now starting to lag behind the new Americans that came in, right? And it really starts to ask the question, like, it made sense when they were a 5, an Australian 5 that came over, great story, great branding, get to go through the Asian qualifier, which is always nice, you know, slightly diminished field there. But they're bringing in these new American players bit by bit, and the American players are bedding in, right? And now guys like JKS and people like, where's he at? Meant to be the clutch man.
Give them a break, Richard. They're weeding out the weak ones, you know. Chad is gone, Yam is gone. It's like soon. Oh no, jokes aside, I mean, the problem is they're very inconsistent, right? We've seen at times, especially JKS and Azza, the talent on those two guys, when they're playing well, they can take over the whole game. But I feel like the problem is also for Ustilo, that he is more inconsistent maybe than the two.
What do you think?
I think that I agree with you, because it's past time that these players stop living off of the potential and saying, you know, they come from a region where they didn't have that experience, and, you know, let them get that and see what they're going to turn into and see what they're going to become. But that potential, that grace period to live up to that is running out. And it's one of those situations where coming into this, it's like Liquid are the masters of choking games away. We've seen it time and time again, and Renegades just says, hold my beer, mate.
Yeah, exactly. It is crazy. And as you rightly point out, you know, great story, you know, 2 years ago, whatever it was, when you were a group of plumbers and you were getting your first chance to be like pro and everybody wrote about it.
There was only one plumber.
Okay, well, whatever. You know what I'm saying, right? They all had regular carpenters. A regular blue-collar guy. Everyone was like, this is great, this is amazing. You've been a pro player for 2 years now, you know?
Yeah.
You've got to be winning these games. Liquid should be there for the taking. Anyway, let's have a look at the standings. I'll stop rabbiting on. There you go. So G2 are up there. They're all celebrating and high-fiving. And you can see as well, Team Liquid tantalizingly close now, despite having that stand-in. They're on 2-1 now, and Renegades on 1-for-2, hovering just above the have-nots, right down there at the bottom. Bad times indeed for Renegades. Anyway, we'll move on. We got Flipside coming up next. So Smix spoke to Seas.
Hey Seas, it's been about 2 months since you joined Flipside, and after being on Navi for so long, how has it been for you to join a new team?
It feels something new because I played for now like for 4 years, and when you starting something new, it's always something different. So I was just trying to adapt, and it feels normal now.
Well, regarding Flipside's performance at the major so far, unfortunately hasn't been so great with losses to Misfits and Team Liquid. From your perspective, what are the biggest problems going on with the team right now?
If you will talk about first game, we didn't like woke up like individually, and they played like round which we can't counter. They are losing that one round on the B side, so that was the main problem in the first game. And second one, I think we didn't show up like usually again in important moments. We played decent on T side, but as City we was fucked up.
Short and sweet. Now coming up, it's going to be this elimination match against Avangard. So does it make you more comfortable going up against them because they're one of the underdogs at this major, or on the flip side, is it harder to prepare because they have this unknown factor? So does it make you more comfortable going
everything preparation for enemies doing is great, so I don't care about that. But for our team, we also underdog, and I think everyone underestimated us. But I think we will really show our level how we played online on bootcamp, for example, before this tournament, which we didn't show yet. We can go far and we can go to the next stage. I hope we will start to play like we can. That's the main point for us in this game. We didn't think about against who we are playing. We just need to play our own game.
Well, thank you so much, Seas, and best of luck.
So you heard there from Seized in Flipside. We're going to wash his mouth out with soap after that interview, I think. But he might be cursing at the end of this one, because Flipside have not had a good start to this major at all.
Definitely not, and something that's fairly obvious, or at least it was in their losses, is the lack of firepower that they have, and that their CT sides, because of that, are where they struggle the most, right? Because you can't make as many plays when you're CT. At some point, you just have to hold and wait for your opponents to come to you, and that's where they struggle to get those kills, basically, even if they have an advantage, even if their opponents are coming in blind. So that's something that's very difficult to iron out by preparing or by strategy. You just need to step up individually.
Yeah, and Jason, should we have expectations for Flipside? Because obviously they sold Electronic, you know, there's great talent that was kind of dragging them through games. I know Anders keeps thinking Markelov's going to be 2010 Markelov again. I don't know why.
I don't either.
But, you know, honestly, they lost their best player, brought in a player who's struggling for form as kind of a replacement. I mean, you know, maybe this is unrealistic expectations.
I personally don't have any expectations for them. I think the reason why people still hold out is because they've come into majors with no expectations before as well. No one expected them to do anything, and they've always managed to qualify. You know, they've always managed to make it through somehow. It's like that magical hope that still clings to, and it's just like, well, they've done it every other time when they've been down and out. But I think the problem with this is, like, even that interview with Seized, right? Like, not to like nitpick on small details, but I will. I mean, he's wearing like an E-League jacket, not even like trying to be in with the team and everything, you know. And that's a very small detail, but it doesn't seem like he's bought into that this idea of even playing for this team to compete with them at this tournament. And I mean, fair play if that's going to be the situation going into it, but you need to have that cohesion, even if it's just for the week, even if it's just for the month of this major.
So you need, that sounds like very smart from Jason. It reminds me of sometimes when you make like all these points around like a round, how it was like so sick, like developed or the call, and then it's just something like
they didn't make a jersey for
him. No. Here it's, I don't think Flipside has hoodies, and it's very cold in the studio at times, so he's just wearing something over it.
Quite possibly. Well, enough chat about wardrobe, guys. Can we talk about Avangard, Yanko?
Great. Can we go back to the wardrobe?
Oh, wow.
No, but I mean,
gentlemen,
from the CIS minor, here they come, Avangard, and the guy that we're talking about a lot is Buster. He seems to be on par with some of the other players that they've met before. Besides that, Kickert is another guy who's been holding his own. So for them, as they actually had close games in their losses, both against Town Sports and Space Soldiers. Plays Mirage both times. It's going to be interesting to see if that's going to be a map we see yet again. They have nothing to lose here. Maybe there's some familiarity between the players because they're all from the same region, but I believe for Flipside, this is where, you know, the experience at least kicks in. One silver lining for Avangard is what we were talking about in terms of firepower, that, you know, if they come off the gates all guns blazing, if they're very aggressive in their play, that might you know, give them a way in, and then perhaps Flipside starts playing a bit scared.
I don't think they're gonna have an issue with firepower. I think they've got enough of that. They're gonna have an issue with decision making, just because, I mean, the match they had yesterday, they lost 2 5v3s and a 2v1 against a 6 HP player all within like the first 6 rounds of the match. And that was a game where they had a decent chance of upsetting, but when you lose those kinds of rounds, you're out. That was against Space Soldiers. So, I mean, they need to clean that up, and it's not an easy thing to do overnight.
Correction, that was against Antares.
Yeah, that's fair play. Yeah, fair point.
Well, look, I got the map in, so Flipside, I almost feel bad announcing this. Flipside have gone for Train, and a Vanguard will pick CT, which means we get another Blade terrorist side to start us off. So.
Listen, I think Peter from HLTV told me that they were 3 for like 26 on CT side so far in this tournament, something like that. They've only won 3 CT rounds, so maybe it's good they're starting on T side, Rich.
Well, yeah, it is, but unfortunately, it's like watching teams play MR12. It's such a throwback. It's so slow.
Yeah, I hope Flipside starts off with a faster pace this time around for 2 reasons. One, you know, they're notorious for the slow pace style, and 2, these inexperienced players from Avangard, they might get a little bit flustered if you run something fast against them on Train, you know, flash and smokes everywhere. They probably don't have the necessary teamwork to hold off faster executes like that. So I agree with Jason, it's good for Flipside actually that they are starting on the T side. They can use the teamwork to make up for the perhaps a lack of a bit of firepower, and I have Flipside taking this one and staying in the tournament.
So you've got Flipside stay in the tournament. Jason, your prediction?
I'm going for Avangard, if for no reason other than to salvage my predictions on the day, because God bless.
God bless, right? Well, there you have it. So we're split. We're going to find out who's right after the break when Flipside Tactics will be taking on a Vanguard, and that'll be brought to you by Henry G and Staticus. See you in a few. We're going to find out who's right after the break.
I'm just young enough to still believe. Young enough not to know what to believe in. Young enough not to know what to believe.
mobile casting desks back on board. We started the day. We're going to close it at another game where someone goes home. Flipside versus Avangard.
Most tantalizing game, Matthew, but someone is going home. Flipside have looked pretty woeful throughout this tournament. I think, as they said on the desk, Yanko pointed out they've got 3 CT rounds so far. Good news though, starting on the T side, but as Richard pointed out, Flipside's approach generally on a map like Train, very slow, very methodical, lots of set pieces coming in the last 10 seconds or so. So watch out for that. They are my favorite. I had to pick one. I did go with Flipside, but I'm not really too excited about it.
I feel like it's similar to Envious. They had a horrible tournament up till here, but now they've met a match that it would be tough to lose to. However, I still went with Avangard because they had to win me one. I feel like it's similar to
Well, that's true.
It's got to be.
It's sound logic.
Yes. But we'll see what happens. I mean, look, Flipside, again, okay, technically in a major based on the change, but this will be the first time they actually did make it through the top 16, if you will. And I doubt even if they win this that they will.
It's time.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've had a great run, but
the mentality needs to change. They seem very stale.
It feels like it's on its last few legs this time. But we'll see, though, as we get into the pistol round. They have got 3 sets of armor in their opening kill, as you just saw. C's took down Mystic. And it still has his smoke and 2 flashbangs. As I said, a very slow team. A lot of teams would capitalize on that opening pick and try and push and pincer, stop the rotations, but that's just not how Blade operates. He'll wait for reactions to come through, hold up. And there's a CT pushing behind them from what I can see. I think that's going to be Buster. Indeed he is. As they go for an inside play, there'll be a smoke down towards the lower ramp, flash through, and just try and find trades here if they can. It's going to be a cool exchange out, and the CT fight back. Gets one, and oh my goodness, the CT kills just come through thick and fast. WorldEdit has to try and recover this situation. Surely gets that frag. It's a dink towards the upper ramp at the same time.
It's planted as a result of the exchanges with Kuzian down to 5 HP as well. He can't initiate the exchanges. Jane is a kid. Better off though on 32, mind you. He's going to take down a little bit. He's just Blade. He's going to overexpose himself on the peak. 2 players taken down, and Avangard will start off with pistol. CT side, now that's another point to make. Side have been poor on their CT sides. Avangard have been poor on their T sides. Maybe the lack of defensive capabilities of Flipside is enough for Avangard to close out a second half as well as starting off well. Because remember, I think they've lost, what was it? 2 games, but the first half they actually won 8-7 in their first match, and they lost 7-8 in the second match. So their CT sides have actually been equal to their opponents.
We'll see whether they can keep it going. Here's Jane getting it done with the Silence USP. That was an opening pick from Flipside, and yes, they get the bomb down there, but they will not be buying up into this round. They will be taking an eco here, bring out the AKs in the third. Mark Loftus purchases smoke and a couple of flashbangs here. The objective, get that bomb down once again. It's highly unlikely they do anything but get a plant, maybe 1 kill. But an outside stack from the CTs. This could be a little bit uncomfortable, I would say. It'll go towards the upper round, ball, his pants down. We'll get 1, but pull back, and that's going to be the bomb going down almost certainly. But why is it the lower ramp? It needs to be the very front of the pack there. It'll probably get planted. Real close. And indeed it does. Well played by Flipside. That's enough here, but still, he's looking for 1 more. That would be great. Not going to happen just a Glock, but lots of money, Matthew, for that next round. I think he can get the AWP out.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice and early. Flipside gets 2 bomb plants down.
Yeah, this is where WorldEdit can bring out the AWP. He's got 5 grand. Yeah, you're believing in that now?
No, you know what? Sometimes, Anders is running the simulation, but the problem is if you make him angry, everything's going to go against you. So I'm just appeasing the master.
It seems Jason's been in control recently.
He just thinks he is.
Well, WorldEdit does indeed bring out the AWP. No armor. It's what we call a glass cannon for some reason. I like it though. And 4 AK-47s. They have got the smokes, the flashbangs, that bomb. Especially the second plant was fantastic for their economy overall. And we'll see whether Jane, with his AWP, can go toe-to-toe with WorldEdit, one of the stronger players on the Flipside team. It's coming towards that main entrance. Blade manages to dodge them. He's trying to listen up for some sound cues here. Watching out for any close pushes towards that main entrance. But his teammates head towards Ivy. 3 of them, in fact, does suggest it will be an outside play eventually. Drops it down in T-spawn as WorldEdit investigates towards the Ivy position, looking for any players behind that server. They will be boosting him up. Just have a look at the left and right positions. No one challenging towards Ivy. There's actually no one there at this moment. Tentatively from the back. That's a nice smoke just to buy some time and get nice and close with the MP9. At this moment.
WorldEdit sitting top of the server, waiting for the smoke to dissipate. We'll get vision toward Ivy. Seized Markolov also with him. Got for James as well. Unexpected purchase. Very forward stance toward Ivy. With James pushed so far up on the B side in EWP, they're able to get Krizian in underneath the ladder and therefore pretty much cover off all of B. He'll get so much information on this, plus the fast flank's a possibility. Keeping a buster up to the front of the A side as well. Good shot, James. That's going to slow them down. And Demasik and Krizian have ladder completely covered off.
Do you think we're going to see any fast-paced gameplay from flip side? I'm not sure. Once again, getting picked off at the very start, Blade getting late in the process. They will head towards a 10 seconds, man. This is just such classic flip side play, and that it's getting picked off one by one. It's not looking good at all.
The problem is it's fine to play slow, but not when you're a man down. You've got to be looking for more information than that. It seems like they just sat back. They just completely pinched it off, had no map control.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's my point. They're not getting anything done with this long round. They go towards Ivy. They'll investigate that, do nothing with it, fall all the way back, and then they'll go towards inside. It's just so obvious and telegraphed. There's 10 seconds on the clock. You see smokes coming in. You know what's happening.
The fact that James could stand at the corner at B for that long uncontested until about 30 seconds left. They saw one smoke at Ivy, and the players at ladder just sat there. There was no one showing on A, no one really pushing Ivy. Nothing was accomplished.
Well, there it is. The Vanguard managed to hold flip side at bay there. That was their strong buy. Remember, 2 bombs going down is pretty fantastic. Although you're not winning the round, you're going to have lots of money for round number 3, and that was their chance to fight back there. Goes round number 4. This is, of course, damaged by World Edit. Doesn't find the kill, though. That was a pretty strong grenade at the very start. You can see World Edit got taken down by Buster. We'll have the brunt of it as well as we go towards that lower ramp. Once again, the objective is try and plant. We'll try and deny it with the incendiary. I don't think it's been perfectly thrown. We'll have to look at that. I think there is an opportunity to plant. Yeah, absolutely. It's quite thrown perfectly there.
Just did some damage with it. So Blade with the Deagle seized CZ. Seized good position, mind you, but him being one of only 2 players remaining, not hard with 5 up to anticipate that there might be someone lurking, and Buster does exactly that. Krizian will take down the final player. 4-0 for Avangar. It's max loss bonus, therefore. Bomb plant as well. So flip side, an opportunity to get back into AWPs. In fact, 4-0 for Avangar. It's max grenades on each player as well.
Well, here we go then, flip side. I am hoping we do see something more.
5 AK.
Yeah, it will be. I want to see something more than just the default into a set piece. That's what I'm expecting from them, but they're going to have to change the pace. The game has developed past that. That's what their playstyle was maybe 3-4 years ago. Remember teams like Na'Vi really kind of running with that idea. And when they had Guardian in the team, especially earlier in CSGO, that was so strong for them because he was so good at getting opening picks, and then they could execute strategies from there. They don't really have the firepower flip side to really run defaults every single round, but here we go. This is looking a little bit faster. The wall smokes come out early, and the Molotov will be deployed. It's going to be down to Buster to try and take them down. He's absolutely bamboozled them, coming in from behind, making them look foolish, man. That was complete.
And that's why flip side doesn't go fast.
Yeah, maybe.
That might slow them down for the rest of the game now.
Yeah, they just got completely wrecked there, didn't they? Go for the smokes, the flashbangs, and yeah, not really much to report there. One of the quickest rounds you'll probably see this game. Buster, he actually pushed all the way from inside. And
you made the prediction that this would be the last time, this tournament might be the last time we see the 5 players on Envy together. I'm going to say this is the last time we see this flip side. Yeah. Obviously, this flip side roster is relatively new anyway with Seized, but I think
it's a good point. Like, he can't be happy in this whole situation. Seized. He's gone like from one of the most iconic teams in CSGO, Na'Vi, but he knows the flip side, and he knows that you can't say they particularly wanted him. Right? It was just kind of an exchange. They needed his player, and he doesn't really want to be there either, I'm imagining, but it's not like they're going to 0-2. It's not like they're almost certain that they won't be making through the final 16. You know, like I'm not holding any hope.
I wouldn't be surprised if Avangar or QB Fire are all options for players to be picked up. Whether or not you want to be, I don't know.
I think that's a really interesting idea. There's a lot of CIS talent, right? Absolute bucket loads of it, and they're all spread out through these teams. Like Vega, for example, Avangar, you could make an absolutely fantastic team mixing those.
That's kind of what I was saying yesterday on the desk. The fact that Vega's
fine, they're not going to change.
Obviously they haven't in years anyway, but the fact that Na'Vi's always been there, but Vega's also, with Gambit as well, winning the last major, the fact that Vega stepped in the 3rd spot and didn't have to requalify through minor, they've opened up more spots, which opens up more space for the CIS region to showcase itself. And we're starting to see some of the depth that it has. So it's good for everyone that they have 3 teams that were already here, 5 teams overall.
I would say a mixture of these 2 teams would be something interesting. That would be quite... It's good for everyone. Buster shuts it down. What on earth is that? The AK-47 completely lights up Flipside there. And Crizin, he'll chime in at the same time. This is looking like a disaster for Flipside. They just don't have the aim right now to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Avant-Garde. It's going to be seized towards the backtracks right now. He might get 1 kill out of this. Takes the incendiary to the face. He will take some damage. You're just dying, mate. Oh, goodness gracious.
I can't believe that just happened. I mean, first off, he body blocked it. It wouldn't have hit him. It would have gone behind him if he didn't body block it. And then he just stands on it.
You hate to see that. These rounds, like, Avant-Garde making them look horribly amateur.
I don't understand the point of that. He clearly knows he's taking damage.
No, it's like with the bin in front of him. Like, obviously, I guess he's like, I'll jump on this, I'll be fine, but flames spread even further.
That's so late.
Yeah, well,
get out of it.
It wasn't. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just like trying to get inside his head what's going on there. But another eco here.
It's like the frog, the Al Gore reference. If you put a frog in water and it's really hot, it'll jump out. But if it slowly heats up, it doesn't notice.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that is something. I've heard that one before. That's quite cool. But here we go. Bust up.
Back to the game. Down at Sandwich, Markov takes that. Divasek, Christian at least has control from the bottom of control. At the ladder, we'll chomp back on Markov, leaving us with just C's.
Wayland up. Alone and now dead. This is looking very simple for Avant-Garde overall. Well, here we go. We get into round number 8. Still early days, don't get me wrong. They can still bounce back from this one. Flipside should be absolutely fine. Well, we get 5 on the board on the T side. It's still a competitive game. And we saw a faster round for them. That was a set piece. I want to see more brutal rounds. So I wanted like this, not throw the smokes, not telegraph going outside. Let's just get out of the group, a few flashbangs there, and try and shut down the doubles potentially. We'll see what they can bring to the table. Blade is an experienced player. He's been to a lot of majors before. I'm sure he knows what he has to do to get himself out of this mess. We'll see what they can bring to the table. Blade is an experienced player.
Well, we've been saying that for a while, and I've been starting to believe that perhaps, no offense to Blade, with all his brilliance, maybe that is the problem. Again, they have this numbered system. Hiko talked about it as far back as 2015 when he played with them at ESWC. Obviously, enough when the bromance started between Simple and Hiko, but a very structured system, a very slow system, and I'm starting to wonder if it's hurting them. I often think of, although it was one tournament, WESG qualifiers last year in the European qualifiers, strictly in Kiev with the team Russia that actually beat Virtus Pro, oddly enough, in that qualifier. World Edit was on it, best I've ever seen him play. We jokingly asked him why, he said no Blade. A little bit of freedom does.
That's absolutely right, yeah. That was a great insight behind the scenes from the Drop the Bomb boys, I think we can call
You're welcome.
It's going to be Chrisen with another opening pick here. They're just finding the frags again and again. Nothing they can really do here. Sees, shut down Wayland up. That was brave. Down he goes in the smoke. Wildly fires the AK-47 with the smoke in front of him. It works out. Actually have a bit of an advantage here. You see Jamie Orpa on 16 HP and World Edit out of Ivy, boosted up. This is actually a really cool boost. I like this a lot. Not getting anything for it just yet, though. I'm sure it will pay off eventually. 30 seconds, so that timer runs down quickly. And they will make their final commitment towards the side from what we can see. Molotov's deployed, and that's going to be a guaranteed frag. World Edit nails it. And finally, it's looking promising for the flip side team. Here we go then, bust up, we'll drop it now. Jane, the AWP can't do anything about this. And there we go, first round on the board.
Time, indeed, for Flipside.
Drop it now, Jane, the AWP can't do anything about this. And there we go.
Very, very needed. Time. Just to continue with that point and that theme, you know, Blade's been considered so tactical, and they've always made the majors. Is this finally the catalyst for perhaps some of the players being annoyed with the situation of the team, whether it's Markov saying, I know he hinted it once or twice, like, oh, just wait, I'll be back on the off summer later. Does he go elsewhere? Is World Edit leaving the team? Are the players tired of playing this style? Does Blade finally sort of get a mutiny underneath of him? Like, there's a lot of questions on where this roster can go.
Well, for now, they are looking down the barrel of a 0 and to lose this map. They are out of the tournament. Did they all get dropped to the end there?
It did. They've got 16K, so who cares?
You're right. That is a fair point, Matthew. And 7-1 comes through. And we need to make sure that Flipside do start converting a few rounds in a row, string them together, avoid that horrible reset. For now, though, they get a really decent buy. The 3 players survive there. Got the AK-47s, the AWP on World Edit. Nice boost towards Ivy. I like that. It's quite innovative. You don't really see that too often on the terrorist side. We'll see the smokes come out. Double orb setup now, Buster and James. He said plenty of money to work with. And we go fast towards the Pop Dog this time. Good Molotovs used at the very start to push the CTs back, and Waylander. Let's see him step up here. He gets a good flashbang. Could have pounced at that point, but here he goes now. And she does nail this frag. Just about gets it. It's going to be Caesar steals it away, and this is looking quite good for Flipside now.
Man down, make that 2. Next in, Markelov's going to take down Kicker. It's all on Buster. Every kill he gets will still be beneficial. They get 4 alive on their win. Man down, make that 2. More to the reset, and they've got enough carryover as it is anyway. But now they'll have a chance to build up a bit of a bank. They're going to have a large task still to break Avangard's down. Reset, and they've got enough carryover as it is any train. Now they'll have a chance to build up a bit of a bank. They're going to have a large task still to break. You're a Buster fan.
A little bit. I don't think he's got much of a chance in this one, I'm afraid. So we will find the 2 rounds required. Flipside, no reset here today, and 3 players surviving once again. It's all good news. Buster at this point just trying to stay alive, hold towards the backtracks, and he'll be looking towards Ivy to see if he can find anyone exiting the bomb site here. He will be fine. He can survive the blast radius there, and we'll see the bomb explode in all its glory here. Undestructive. All the trains always seem fine. Bomb explode in all its glory here.
They do actually, yeah. So what are they trying to explode, you know?
Maybe it's just like a false alarm, you know?
Oh, I had a text about one of those the other day. So what are they trying to explode?
Well, it will be round number 10. As we get into this one, we'll see whether Flipside can continue their good form. Still got a 12k on a few of the Avangard players. We'll see whether. And this is a tactical timeout for Avangard. This will be the start of them finding themselves in a tricky predicament of the money being whittled down. For now, it's absolutely fine. M4s come through, the AWPs once again. Now in the hands of Buster and James. For now, it's absolutely fine. AW4 edits. And we'll have a look at the scoreboards while we're here to see how it's going. At the very top for Flipside, I always say, when I see C's name, I'm always just about to say Navi. C's with 4 and 8. He's at the top. At the bottom, it will be Blade on 1 and 8. Buster leading the way on Avangard's side. 12 kills, 2 deaths for him. As we get into round number 10 here, C's has made his way out towards the main entrance. Going towards that all-off position, successfully does so. Versus play towards Pop Dog. This is much faster now. It's what we want to see from Flipside. Getting stuck in there and see if they can find the first few kills. That's your teammate, don't shoot those. As Prison gets ready, getting footsteps all around him. Being dropped at this point. He somehow saves the line. There's a trade. Good work by Flipside.
Trade in World Edit's also hitting shots. Took down Buster. And falling if I get a key. Kirk has been quiet. Gets one. That's also hitting shots. So he got excited. James sits in a 1 versus 2. And you can afford to get aggressive. This round, they'll lose their money otherwise. World Edit, great round overall. 3 kills, 7-3, 3 in a row for Flipside. Who have a 3 in their names. This round, they'll lose their money otherwise.
Fitting.
World Edit, great
Absolutely.
round overall.
It's going very well now. I think this faster play is actually revitalizing them. No more slow defaults at this point, getting stuck in there, allowing their players to actually find some positional control at the very start. Molotovs and smokes are looking better, and they're starting to hit some decent shots now right now. Blade still struggling there 1 for 9, but his teammates starting to step up. Number 11, and this is going to be the last, surely, of the Avangard millions. He's 1 off now, the M4s, not all the utility, and a faster play towards inside potentially. This is looking much better. I like this. They're being more assertive. The defaults weren't working out for them. They're getting wrecked in all the duels. Let's just call something at the very start of the round and stick with it. They're being more assertive. The defaults weren't working out for them.
So they'll walk through the smoke and hit the flame. The goal, Flipside's woken up.
Yep.
Suddenly things coming to life. Avangard's got their typical 7 to 8 rounds already, but 7-0, you'd expect them to look for a lot more than that. Down 2 men, bomb planted. As you say, this is the time they need to save. It looks as though they're already doing so. Christian, he's backed well off towards T-spawn, and James can rotate out as well. So, goes 7-4. Questions surround the second half because both teams are going to be on their significantly weaker side.
Absolutely. Weapons will be saved, at least they'll attempt to do so. And you're right, this is looking like Flipside waking up. Calling strategies at the very start, set pieces, that's where they're going to do their best work. Let's not do the default, let's not even give a chance for the players, let's face it, who are hitting better shots right now. Avangard to have a chance to pick us off 1 by 1. Stay the 5-man unit, deploy the decent smokes, the strategies we know that work, and get stuck in there. Molotovs are on point, they're eradicating the risk as they go into the bomb site. And now we're starting to see that AWP come into play as well. Here's a replay of Water forcing his way down the lower ramp. Nails that shot, that's a wonderful shot. And it will be 7-4 now. Forcing his way down the lower ramp. We'll have 3 weapons saved for Avangard, of course. They can force up around this. Famis comes out for Dimasic. 3 weapons are available. Decent utility as well. It's now 4 rounds in a row for Flipside Tactics. Available. Decent utility as well.
He's trying to find the shots towards he can go. No. Fortunately, didn't realize they'd gone well beyond that, and he was blinded up and well exposed to Christian, who's now gotten in behind the E-Box position, sees through a smoke, nowhere to go, down to just 1 versus 3, 1 versus 2.
Good for him, isn't it?
Snappy aim. Took down Buster and only lost a fraction of HP.
Yeah, he's got a real chance to win this one. James and Dimasic try and stick together. One towards the backtracks, the other towards Hell. Marklov, this could be a fantastic play. Silently gets up on the green train here. At the bird's eye view, but taken down. Good shot by the Famis. 8-4. Avangard finally get back in the game and win the half at this stage. Money very good for Flipside though. They've managed to build themselves a real stable economy. Up 9k per player there. And number 13 to come to the closing sectors of the first half. All for World Edits. See if they can maybe find the 8-7. I'm thinking it's quite likely at this point. They've found the right recipe at this stage to pick up rounds. See if they can maybe find the 8-7. I'm thinking it's quite likely at this point. Got to shoot those windows out.
I was going to say, they're like
very beneficial strategy.
It's like the TV in Mirage.
Yeah.
Just no point, everyone does it. I was going to say, they're like, Seas gets aggressive. Pace at least to try and get the ground balls. Johnson for position behind the smoke, but no one there. While Markov moves out toward Ivy. No one there. He's not alone, he's got rolled that in. Out toward Ivy. He should just shadow world edit, so when he goes down, he can just pick up the op.
Yeah, that's definitely an idea. Oh, I thought Waylander would come out and strike at that point with a flashbang. Yeah, that's definitely. They have got Brown Wall's control. They now can signal for the teammates to rotate through, go for that set piece we know is strong for them. There are variations of that. You can drop the inside grenades and then rotate, of course, back towards the outside with a player waiting at Ivy, perhaps. Blade trying to bait out information at least to see if he can get an A to be thrown. Molotov, perhaps. Maybe that suggests he wants to fall back and just get rid of their utility in that area and see if anyone's going to be up close and personal towards the pop dog position. Here we go. Let's see whether they do fully commit. It's going to be the AWP boosted up. You very rarely see kills from this position. It's not like I see he's going to be waiting there. But here we go. Looks like a full commitment, and they will indeed go towards inside. Here's the flash and the final play.
In. Seeing the alleyways. Utility, but not enough to hold off Keekert. He goes immediately in, and bomb goes down. 15 seconds again. Low on time as always for Flipside, but they'll do just enough to get the bomb back and plant it in time.
Surprised Crizzen didn't drop his incendiary there. He had that available to him. Could have actually denied the plant. Too late now. As he throws it in, he was actually in the bomb site ready and waiting. His teammate will be set up. Dimasic goes towards the lower ramp, nails that first shot, and it will be Markov to go down. All that in now, AWP in hand. He's got 2 Molotovs available to them, and they hit the first, and now just down to World Edit with the aforementioned AWP. Will he go for the Molotov play? Upgrade to the AK-47. Needs the double spray down here. They're going for the full defuse now. This kill has to come through, and it won't happen. And Avangard run away with the round. Touch and go there. I really felt like Avangard, when the bomb was coming through, they could have dropped their incendiary, and maybe could have seen more methodical play from Flipside in that particular clutch, and gone towards the upper ramp, dropped the Molotov on the bomb, but they went for the straight-up duels there. This is a bit of a mess overall. I'm not really sure what Blade and Seas were doing. This complete disaster there, hugging each other on the bomb side, trying to get the bomb down. As we get into round number 14, the penultimate round. Well, AKs as well. Waylander has to take a slight compromise there with the CZ. How many AKs have got on the CZ? Just the one. In the hands of
It's going to start well by getting Markov off. Down on the left side of the train. Does very well with the train. Station, 3 kills for him. He's relatively quiet in this game. I say that, he's got 14 kills. He's up there with Buster, but Station, 3 kills for quiet in Timasik's been the he's up there with Buster, but least involved. At least on his side. Interestingly enough, Seized, who's replaced Electronic off of Na'Vi. The swap, like you said, is bottom for flip side, so struggles continue for Seized. Tries to find the shot toward A main, can't do it. And the other space toward the sandwich position, but that's not going to give him much help, especially as Blade goes down. He does at least find the shot. Closer. It's there and ready.
Keycut is ready as he manages to pick up double digits for Avant-Garde there. Loss bonus starting to accumulate, but it's only at the third stage as we go into the final round of the first half. A couple of AKs are available and possibly pistols or SMGs to go with them. 10-4, likely to be 11, doesn't seem good enough. There was a flurry of rounds to flip side there when they changed the pace, got stuck in as a unit. 7 pieces and a couple of rushes thrown in for good measure, working quite nicely. Reminder that this is the 0-2 match. You see the top of your screen there. If you lose this one, we're out of the tournament.
Indeed.
They always are the dark horses, the talking point. No one can actually believe they keep doing it. Like Krakow making it to the actual main tournament, the final 16. Again, didn't seem possible. That's when they had Electronic, remember, and he was the firepower of the team.
Well, and it was a 2-2 decider game.
Yes,
well.
That's right. Didn't seem possible. That's when they had Electronic, and he was the firepower of the team. I think you're right. Yeah.
Liquid. Yes. For some struggling to check that Buster. Great shot. Waylander and reacts to Blade above, just above the smoke.
Yeah, that was sick. That's spray control. Unfortunately, goes down. It's the scout that prevails, but a 4-on-3. Trying to jump up there. The scout still can jump and shoot at the very apex of the jump. They don't want that weapon, and Timasik just offers himself up on a plate there for Markelov. 3-on-3. All of a sudden, this is quite promising for flip side.
Recover the bomb. On the flip side, it's going to very much need 5 rounds only after getting 3 for 26 or 27, whatever the outrageous statistic that very much need. Gohad was on the CT side so far in this tournament. Christian will wait to see if anyone walks from Ivy. Is there, and he'll see the Molotov being thrown, capitalize as he can. Next two, both out from Dog, and it's to one of them Seized, but he's gone down bomb as well. And James goes back in. Unfortunately, James is going to die at the end of the half.
It's an honorable death.
That's exactly a remarkable play in a 1 versus 2.
Well, there we go. Lovely stuff there. We saw some glimmers of the old Seas there. Great work with the AK-47, but Buster, this spray control towards the upper ramp there. Loving that. That's really nice to watch. And unfortunately, nothing really to write home about that as the play does not work out. We can't believe it.
Blade is 2 for 13.
Yeah. That's not great, is it?
I'm afraid if you've gone stagnant as a leader, which I'm going to say it. Look, we've given the guy enough praise. At this point, I think it's time to say I haven't seen anything.
I think he would be beneficial. This is the coach time now.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything that's like blows my mind, like, oh my god, that's creative. Wow, he's just reinvented a meta, or wow, he's done a very tactical execute. I haven't seen anything from that in a while.
Yeah.
I think he's coattailing it at this point. And if he's not going to get kills either, yeah, he might be right.
I think that would be...
And a lot of the credit we gave him came from coaching in the first place when he coached Hellraisers in the major, what was that, Katowice 2014, I want to say?
Yeah, well, that could be an interesting idea, but they're not out of the tournament just yet. 11-4 is recoverable. Obviously, on the CT side, that is favored, and we'll see if they can win the pistol here. If they don't, it feels like it might be goodbye. Flip side, they have had a shocker of a tournament. Number 1 in the second half. We'll have a look at the buys for both teams. It's going to be Buster. Flip side, a little totem pole drop there. As they make their way towards the Pop Dog smokes and flashbangs available.
Climb the ladder. Mystic already there. Avant-Garde with this pistol. Finally accomplish the T side they need. So it's not a written or shut case for either team, considering the struggles they've had on the respective sides.
Seized alone inside it. Silence USP, can't find the shop. Does at least get information that you need to rotation him. Markelov will join him in the connector. But they are poised and ready by the low ramp. They might fall back here. They don't have to commit. There's still plenty of time available. 1 minute to be exact. Smoke still in the back pocket. Decoy will be deployed towards the lower ramp. This is what could be the bait here. We'll have a look as to whether Kurt will fully commit to this. Smoke is going down, and it is a fake indeed. So they'll drop the decoy there, and that's a great shot as they fully commit towards outside. Waylander can do nothing about that, Matt. He's just got absolutely dropped there. Well, let him through the smoke. Does get a lucky kill towards Buster. And now Seas has to step up, but we need to see some of the old magic here. There it is.
Part of it. That'll work. Starts it off to get down Dimisic, and World Edit will capitalize by getting Christian. Remember, he got the one through the smoke, so that actually gave them the lead temporarily. Back and found response. Markelov. World Edit versus Jam. Can't overcommit. Bomb planted. No need to commit to peaks. Play the time. They'll know where he is, but he can still have the angles. World Edit's low as well. If he can get the shot, it would have been well suited because if it comes to a one-on-one, he still made space for himself somehow. Don't think it's enough. I think 10 seconds is still available to him. If he had got around that second train, he might have had it.
One of those beautiful CAS being played at this point, but it will be a defuse. Oh, God, that was close. Yeah. Goodness gracious. That's a scary sound to hear.
Just to note, by the way, first time Avangard's not played Mirage in this event.
Gracious. Yeah, that's right. I can see Divisic's purchase body armor.
First time Avangard's not played
so, are they force buying here? I can see maybe not. He might have even played the plant to the bomb and got a couple of kills, so he can justify 650, right? So he'll go for PT50 armor. Very similar objective as to what we saw on Flipside in the second round of the first half. Trying to get that bomb down. As you know, you're getting AKs out in the third. One rifle purchase for Flipside. That could come back more the next round. We'll see. Third. One rifle purchase for Flipside. That could come back more the next round. We'll see.
Wait top ladder for any aggression, but no one likely to do so. Top ladder for any aggression, but no one likely to do so. Buster also checking out Brown Hall. Seized is at the ramp, excuse me, but fair enough, he's going to be aggressive. He may actually clear this and wrap in behind them, so he and Waylander are going to try and pinch the drop ladder. Waylander gets wrecked by the double drop, but Seized is hot on the heels, which means he can still take advantage of it, and you're right, they've left the bomb upstairs anticipating that they would go back for it. The problem is, it's just Seized and Markelov, so Markelov's got to run all the way around just to get with him.
So Seized, we need to see something great from him. He's got a ton of information, didn't fully commit to the peak. He can hear footsteps towards Pop Dog right now. He needs at least 2 kills. His teammate backs him up. Markelov needs to hurry here.
He's spotted.
Yeah, I think you're right. They have got a flashbang to use here, and they want to go together, and down Markelov goes, trying to pincer him in here, and Seas gives up the bomb for now, and nothing he can do about that. UMP drops, and tons of information there. They had the disadvantage. But once he found the bomb, maybe going towards T-Sept would be the correct play. They weren't together, though. Needed Markelov with him. And it will be around in favour of Avangard. That wasn't even the first time. That was pretty much full. You can see no armour in the bottom left of the screen. He had a couple of Deagles and PT50s, and they run away with it.
That's insane. Double drop play actually worked very well for Avangard.
All in for Flipside here. This is actually even more brutal than losing the pistol, because now you're on the chase. If you lose this round, you're another eco, then you get the force buy, almost a match point, and you're just going to leave yourself very short-changed in that respect. Up through the MP9, but that's a bold move. I'm not sure what they're up to yet. Sees will help himself 2 kills. This is not required at all. Almost gets the third. Really well played by Seas there. Made it a little bit too easy for him. Running through the smoke with that MP9, and a successful round it was before, with pretty much full eco, and they just throw it away, rushing down that lower ramp. There is no need to rush the tightest choke point on the map when you know you've got them on the ropes and just on pistols. Especially in the CZ meta we're in right now with CSGO.
Just to give you a little bit more information,
go for it.
Dimitri keeps feeding it to me. The Avangard coach, Daston, used to play with Hobbit on 10 Green.
Oh, really? Go for it.
Dimitri keeps feeding
tidbits of map.
The Avangard coach, and Dimitri Daston,
and Dimitri
used to play with Hobbit on 10 Green. Dimisic's going to take down Blade.
Tidbits of map.
Lander, Deagle has to be careful. They do have a man advantage, but it's going to take down Blade. Can't be seized is a massive, massive upgrade considering he has armor. This actually looks like Flipside could take this. playing timid with bomb. They've lost everybody else. He's going to have to go beat and plant on his own. I'm afraid the eco is going to be completely nullified in the fact that they're going to give this one up. He'll get the plant down, at least inject some money, but with 22 HP and guns picked up in the hands of people with armor, if he does anything beyond that, it would be pretty damn good clutch.
With 20 HP, you're absolutely right. Get this goal, I'd imagine. There it is. Now gets an AK-47. Is he just going to save?
Ooh. I thought he was going to go full flank.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They're going for the full defuse here. It's great for move, but it looks like it's one that's actually paid off here. He had the incendiary.
Oh! If he was closer, maybe even not hesitated on the first chance to run away, he may have had that.
I think you're right. Well, this is the play. This is the blunder. There's no need for this. You can see there's 1 minute 40 on the clock when they do this. Like, why are they rushing through the smoke? Like, once the first player goes down, you don't need that refrag to say, okay, they've got pistols, they've given up one weapon. It's just the MP9. That's fine. We do not need to give them an AK-47 as well.
Okay.
Once the first player goes down,
no, excuse me, take it back. So he did still have the incendiary. I thought he may have ran to pick it up. The player that was down, he had it all along. Okay, so. Excuse me, take it back. So he did still have the incendiary.
Still money available with the bomb going down for Avantgarde here and winning it Nico previously and saving those weapons to the next round. There will be the AW.